you feel sort of a moment of like a jumping off point? Because starting an independent business in motorsport, it's very risky, I suppose, and very, the success is just very much up to you. There's not anything to fall back on. It's much less secure than one of the corporate roles. How did you approach that? We speak about the mental side of training, preparing yourself for an event, but did you feel you had to prepare yourself mentally for that kind of step?
Absolutely. And I'm still kind of working on it. It's
Sure.
So I started the business just before the pandemic hit, actually, and it was almost
Oh, wow.
kind of like I could see something coming. It was just weird how it kind of panned out, and I started the business, and it was just kind of, I just threw myself into it. I just had an idea and I just went for it. There wasn't really any planning. It was just kind of like, I don't know, I just had to solve this problem. I just felt like, I'd worked with that many drivers, and it just got to a point where I was like, there has to be another way. And yeah, so I just kind of jumped in with both feet, and there was a lot of trial and error. But I think that's one of the biggest things I had to deal with, was kind of being comfortable with failure. So
Sure.
kind of like just because I've been on countless kind of courses and that kind of thing for building an online fitness business, and there's so many ways to kind of do that. Not all of them work for me. Not all of them work for this industry. Not all of them work for the clients that I'm trying to work with. So it's all about kind of try something, testing it, see what worked, see what didn't, and then kind of building my own version of what I think is a fantastic product to offer to the market within motorsport. And having seen from sort of like I say, from all the way up to F1 and then club level side of things, when it comes to club level, you basically just need to offer a really, really good solution.
Yeah.
It has to be really comprehensive, and ultimately you're trying to get the attention of someone who is so busy. They're running their business, they've got kids and a family, they've got this, that, and the other. And they're like, yeah, okay, I want to improve my racing performance, but it's got to slot into my life seamlessly. Like, I haven't got time to mess around with, and part of the advantage of it being online is that literally I can train anyone anywhere in the world anytime. So it's kind of like they don't have to stick to appointment times, which is fantastic. So I think the biggest thing was just becoming comfortable with being like, okay, I tried that, it didn't work. Let's take, the lessons from it and implement again and just try again. And I think that's a massive thing for racing drivers. They constantly need to try things. They constantly need to push their boundaries. I've spent a lot of time, even doing things like talking to camera, that I have, I do want to start my own podcast. So there's kind of like
Sure.
you almost have to get over the hurdle of just doing the first one or two. And then once you get going, so yeah, it's kind of like learning from failure and failing forwards, I like to call it. So, having something go wrong and it not being the end of the world, just being like, okay, this is teaching me so I can keep pushing forwards.
Absolutely. I would say I had a similar thing when I was starting this podcast. It was very much, I was very lucky that the university kind of had this whole technical setup where I could just join the radio station. But I was definitely nervous. I felt I didn't know if I actually had any analysis or anything valuable to add. But I think I spotted maybe a similar gap in the market, in that much of the sort of journalistic rhetoric around motorsport and a lot of the analysis that I saw as a fan, it seemed just very surface level. It was focused on who said what in the press conference last week and that sort of thing. And I felt that there were so many more underlying levels and kind of lessons to learn from motorsport across the levels. Like you spoke about the difference between Formula One and the club level. the sort of like we focus a lot on the junior categories, so like Formula 2, Formula 3, how drivers progress up the categories, and obviously there's a huge role of money in that.